Morning. Welcome, everybody. Monday, August 24th. Appreciate everyone jumping on and having a bit of a time to connect with Boo and myself and our guests this week. Boo, you just got back from camping in Whistler for a week. How was that? I haven't had a chance to catch up with you.
Yeah, it was good. We had a couple of days of rain, but otherwise it was pretty good. We got out on the bikes a bit. We can talk about that a little bit more. Mountain bike seems to be a recurring theme on their show now.
Yeah.
And we could chat about that a bit. I posted a video on the Monday while I was there and talked about my bear bells. Now I got actually a couple comments about the bear bells. A couple people pinged me about that and warned me that bear bells actually, while they can detract bears, they can actually motivate cougars to come near. So, so you can't win. And I had a couple of bear encounters that we can talk about in a bit too when we have Rab on. Maybe Rab will have some bear stories as well. But yeah, it was a good week. It was relaxing. It was. I made a tweet last night as well. First time in 2005, I got my first BlackBerry from work, and I was on call at that time. And ever since then, I've always had something connected to me that would ding with emails. And just this past week was the first time I ever disabled email notifications during the week. And it was game changing, like not having that ding all day long. I came back to 666 emails. So I don't know if that's a bad sign or not.
Yeah, an omen. Never turn your phone off again.
Yeah, quickly worked that down a little bit, but yeah, it was a good week. How about you? Were you on a boat again?
Not this weekend. Was in Victoria the week before, and then last week was in Victoria for a couple of days too. So that was always nice. That was more just for taking care of some family things, but that's where I'm from. So I always enjoy going to Victoria and checking out some of the local spots that we like there. So yeah, otherwise than that, this weekend was kind of just relatively relaxing. We're talking about camping. We're planning for a backcountry camping trip for September long weekend, and can maybe chat about it a little bit later. But we started with zero camping gear, and it's amazing to me how much stuff it's seemingly endless, all the things that you need to actually go out and do backcountry camping. So we're getting there, it's kind of been a bit of a fun process trying to compile all that stuff and learn and watch YouTube videos and how you pack stuff. So yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, that could be a pretty cool endeavor. I know a couple of friends of mine, a couple actually with no kids. They do like multiple trips every summer, backpacking all over the place. They did the West Coast Trail as well, and a couple pretty cool trails, and they get to some pretty neat spots.
Yeah, that's kind of our plan. I don't know if it's going to be next year or the year after, but we've got friends that have done it several times, and we just have never done it, but now we've got most of this stuff together, and that's kind of the plan. We'll do the West Coast Trail either next year or the year after, and yeah, I hope to continue doing at least a couple every year. It's a shame not to in British Columbia, where you've just got so many little gems to go check out if you've got the equipment to do it.
Oh, totally.
So should we bring Rab on and have a little chat with him?
Sounds good. Hey, Rab, how's it going?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Good. And you mentioned before the show here, you were in Whistler this past weekend.
I was, yeah. I was there for Saturday and Sunday. I'm also from Victoria, Daryl, so we'll have lots to talk about there. But yeah, I was playing a little bit of golf this weekend in Whistler, so it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Which tracks did you get out on?
Nicholas North a couple times.
Yeah,
which was good. Yeah, first time playing there, so it was a lot of fun.
You can't lose up there. Every one of those courses is a little bit different, but they're all pretty awesome. And even the surrounding areas of Whistler just have so many nice golf courses.
Yeah, the setting was a lot nicer than my game, but it was a good time for sure.
Yeah, it always is with me. Yeah.
And there was a bear encounter, so some good foreshadowing there as well.
So Yeah, so the campsite that I stay at, it's like a RV trailer site is what's it called? Riverside. So that's right beside the Nicholas golf course.
Oh,
And
no
so
way.
there's the Valley Trail system that goes around just above north of Worcester Village there, and it goes through part of it goes through that Nicholas course, but it's right. The driving range is like right beside the campgrounds, basically.
Right.
And so a
Okay.
couple times, so we'll get into the bear story now. So a couple times the air horn went off. Right, they'll sound an air horn when there's a bear sighting. Not when there is a bear sighting, but the camp guys, they will try to scare off the bear, so they'll use an air horn for that. So a couple times actually, bears will be seen on that path behind our campground, and a couple air horns had gone off during our stay there. So I had gone for a run on the Monday, and I posted a video about it, and had my bear bell with me, and I got a couple private messages saying that, hey, bear bells actually, while they can do something for bears, they can attract cougars. I'm like, okay, well, I'm already kind of annoyed that I might run into a bear while I run. And I run the path from the campground to Green Lake, and it goes through the golf course there. And
Nice.
then on Thursday, I think, Wednesday or the Thursday, we were coming back we drove out. Usually we walk or bike out to the village, but we actually drove out to the village and we drove back in. And then as we were driving in, we saw a bear, and it was just roaming through the campsite. And then we kind of drove over because, we're dumb tourists. So we wanted to get a close-up picture. And it's woven through the campsite. We honked at this lady who was walking her dog, and we're like, hey, there's a bear. And we were pretty excited about it. And she's like, I don't see any bear. I'm like, that's right over there, so you might not want to walk over. And then we lost sight of the bear, and then we started driving in through the campsite to get to our spot. And then we saw the bear on that path. And then my son is like, at this point, my wife gave my oldest son her phone, and he's like out the window now trying to capture bear. And we got like a half second of it because the trail is kind of up from the campsite there. And then apparently the bear was kind of around where we would walk our dog to go do its business as well. So that was one sighting there. And then there was another one where it had gotten where it was basically right behind our campsite. We didn't know it at the time, but then we had my wife and son had talked to our neighboring campsite, and they said, oh, here's a video of the bear, which is basically behind our campsite as well. But we did not see it face to face during either of those encounters. So
nice. Might have been the same bear.
Yeah. So they tag them, right? They apparently, like, you could see like a yellow tag on it, and I guess they have like a 3-strike rule. If it gets too close 3 times, then they do whatever they need to do with the bear. But yeah, it did have a tag on it, so we'll see. And then my wife was looking at bear facts. My wife and my oldest son were looking at bear facts, and there was a recent bear attack where the bear bit the guy in the groin. So they thought that was funny.
Right.
Not for the guy, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, and no cougars though.
That's good.
Would much rather see a black bear than a cougar out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
I saw the black bear as well. We were actually on 18. I don't know if you played Nicholas North before, but there's kind of like a river.
Yeah.
Before the green. And I was looking for my ball, which looked like it went close to the river, as it usually does. It ended up going in, was kind of, trying to find it in the rocks type of thing. Look up, and then there's sort of trees and sort of bush to the left, and the black bear was right there. So we quickly scurried into the cart and got to the other side of the river, and it just walked all the way across. Could have been close.
Yeah.
Well, did it see you?
I don't know if it saw us, but it was, I hope not anyway. Hopefully it didn't see my shot.
Yeah.
Exciting to finish off your round, though.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
So I was glad I got out of there quickly.
Nice. So where did you stay in Whistler?
Just at a friend's place.
Okay.
Not too far from the village. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
right on. And you got the good weather too.
Yeah, it was really good. Apparently, it was pouring on Friday, so I'm sure you caught that. But we came in sort of Friday night, and it was raining pretty hard still in the evening. But Saturday cleared up really nicely.
Mm. And you spent any time in the village?
No, just Nick North and the place. So tried to stay away from all the restaurants and whatnot. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. Easier to social distance on the golf course too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an interesting time in Whistler Village right now. Like all of the stores are really small, right? Like it's expensive real estate. So so all the stores are really cramped and they got lots of products in there taking up space. And so we found that I think where I am, people are kind of so with masks and social distancing, but in Whistler, it's like you can only have a few people in the store, and they want everybody to wear masks in the stores because they're so small. Like it's hard to not be close to other people in there if they were to just let everybody through.
For sure.
So interesting time. I would say more people around though than the last time I was there.
Yeah.
More visitors and whatnot, but I think the hotels are doing a lot of deals right now as well, so that might be
I saw that actually. I was looking at maybe going back in a month or two, and they're really good deals on right now.
Yeah, we had booked Whistler for 4 nights the previous week, and ended up having to change it to Victoria. But yeah, definitely some good deals right now if you want to.
Yeah, for sure.
Take advantage of it. Yeah.
How long were you in Victoria for? That's where I am right now, actually.
Well, the week before I was there for 4 days, so just working from Victoria, and then was back again last week just for a quick in and out kind of trip. But yeah, weather was beautiful for almost the entire time we were there, and yeah, it was gorgeous. Most of the places were open, but same sort of thing. Masks required to get into any of the shops and any of the restaurants. They've got them well social distance, so it was still a nice experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're there now, or you just say that, Rab?
I am, yeah. So I've been here for quite a bit, actually. So I'm from here originally, and my family's here. So I moved to Vancouver from Toronto last year. Moved back to BC, and with everything kind of going on, it was easy to get over to Victoria and spend some more time with family, which is kind of nice. So I've been working remote from here for August, basically, and then moving back to Vancouver. Got a new place that lease starts in early September, so pretty excited to get back. So we'll be back pretty shortly, but it's been nice to be in Victoria while it's lasted.
Yeah, beautiful. And that's maybe a good time to just maybe talk a little bit about your role at Okta. So you're an account executive, one of 2 in British Columbia. Oh no, you're the only one in British Columbia. You've got another one in Alberta, right? Is that where?
Yeah, Alex is in Calgary, but we both cover Western Canada. So
sure,
it's recently, but yeah.
Yeah. So maybe chat a little bit about your role in Okta. I know F5 has had a long-term relationship with Okta over the years.
Absolutely.
But maybe you can chat a little bit about what the solution does and kind of where you're seeing your business go over the next little while. Maybe how COVID has affected things. I'm sure it really has for your business. Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm as you mentioned, an account executive for Okta in Western Canada. So getting to work with a lot of our great customers out here. A lot of mutual F5 customers as well, which is great. Okta really is focused on the identity and access management space. So we're a platform to help organizations manage their employees' identity, their partners' identity, their customers' identity. What's been pretty interesting, sort of with the shift, with COVID and everything, has really been around the acceleration, I'd say, around security priorities and sort of maybe longer term security projects they're very much in the works that had to shift overnight. And we're seeing that both on the employee side, but there's a lot of really interesting use cases that we're starting to see more around how do we secure our customers' identity with everything becoming more digital, and that really being, the main piece of real estate and sort of storefront. So it's been really interesting to see the shift and the momentum to get a lot of the customer type of identity initiatives done to really manage user experience, and the security on that front as well, just with the increase in difference with threats, especially in terms of people's customers.
Yeah, we've certainly seen that. There's been a large number of customers that have just had to, for good reason, had to shift, move projects out to next year. Budgets have obviously been affected by COVID, but there are also parts of the business that, like you said, were just completely accelerated. And I assume you guys were, you probably were working with a number of customers that just kind of called you up and said, hey, I know we were talking about this, but we need to get it deployed almost overnight, which is another interesting set of challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. How have you guys found it from, because I know with F5, obviously with some of the key acquisitions this year in Shape, like what's that been like in terms of timing and sort of momentum since you brought that on board?
Yeah, that one's been interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. That was, I think for most people, we've had some folks on from Shape, but it was a company that we acquired, F5 acquired late last year. And they're the global leaders in bot mitigation and online fraud prevention. So I would say it's really kind of accelerated some of the discussions that we've been having with our customers just around bot mitigation. We've got a web app firewall. We've got the most widely deployed web app firewall in the world, which actually does some bot mitigation inherently. But the reason why we acquired Shape was they were just further ahead than anybody else in the world. So it's kind of given us an opportunity to talk to customers, and just we've gone from being good at what they do to being the best at what we do. So that one's been kind of fun. I would just say probably the last couple of months we're starting to have some more meaningful discussions with customers on that. So I'm sure they'll kind of unfold as the year progresses here.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember you guys were showing me a Shape demo where we were talking about it a few months ago, and it was just crazy to see the level of traffic that's coming from bots. And you do better than me, but I'd imagine that's only gone up in recent months and weeks.
Yeah, and I think too that solution, along with Okta, really helps people accelerate this digital transformation journey. And I know, I think maybe a year ago or maybe even 6 months ago, people thought digital transformation was a real buzzword. And now people are really realizing that, hey, that buzzword was actually really important to our business surviving at this point. Like all of the things that we needed to do in person can't be done in person anymore. So we have to have digital processors for everything.
Yeah.
And so, the idea of scaling an application and taking your application online, or accelerating that application that was part of your digital transformation, fast forwarding that to getting that online now. And then a lot of that is probably having to do with consumer identity as well on the Okta side, and making sure that, hey, how do we make sure we have a good user experience from identifying the users down to making sure that they are real users in the first place.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of even just simple things like having a second factor from a consumer identity perspective. It sounds so simple, but if you think about it from my perspective now, like if I'm signing up for a service or whatnot, and you're putting your credit card information in, or some sort of financial product, if there's not that option, I feel a lot less secure and a lot more vulnerable. You look at some of the password sort of credential stuffing attacks that have happened recently, and it's such a simple option, but we're seeing a lot of momentum around that, and kind of has an interesting parallel to the Shape piece that you guys are speaking to.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's been fun having the discussions. I think next year we're probably going to start to see a lot more of our customers adopt this. It's quite honestly eye-opening for a lot of them when we just go through some of this information and share. Our team kind of shares some of what they see with other customers, and not uncommon for 90+% of traffic on a website to be bots, to be not human. And with that solution, we've got the ability to literally shed 99% of that bad traffic. So it's a bit of a game changer, and it's been kind of fun to chat with customers about.
For sure. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we do, we try to do just some fun questions with the guests we have on. Not much to do with the business at all, just kind of getting to know you a little bit better. And so if you're up for it, I'll run through some of these questions. 1 second here. One second, technical difficulties. All right. Okay, yeah, this is always an interesting one, depending on the age of some of our guests that we've had on. We get varied answers. Yours will probably be a little different. So, what was your first computer, Rab?
First computer was in 2009. Do you guys remember those like mini Acer computers? They were almost like a type of thing. Yeah, that was my first computer. I didn't go too quickly, but that was pretty solid. So that was the first one that I owned anyway. Definitely remember some of the bigger desktops though, but that was my first personal one.
Yeah.
So here's a funny observation, and Daryl probably realized this as well. Depending on the time frame of that first computer, either somebody with like a Commodore 64 describes it down to like the color and how much RAM was on it and how describing the screen and everything. And then as you move up further to something that's more recent, people are like, it was red, or
I think it was navy.
Yeah. I do remember that one though. I worked at Dell at that time, and those little mini devices were kind of all the rage there for about a year or so.
Yeah, not necessarily good for probably building presentations or whatnot. Screen was a little bit small, but wasn't doing that back then. So
yeah. Actually, I'm going to inject another question because I think you have one of the coolest names I've ever heard of. Is Rab short for something, or I've not met anyone with that name before? So, is there any interesting story behind that?
Yeah, great question. So get that a lot. So Rab, technically on my birth certificate, it's just Rab.
Okay.
It's Gaelic for Robert.
Okay, excellent.
Like Rabby Burns or whatnot. So that's where it comes from. But not too many Rabs on this side of the pond, that's for sure. Very
cool. I have a Scottish background also, so
love it. Never got to go. That's high on the list. So
yeah, same for me. Ireland and Scotland. Okay. Tell us about your first job.
First job was working at a marina in Victoria. It's called Hidden Harbor. Sort of just over the Johnson Street Bridge down in Esquimalt there. And my cousin, or my mom's cousin, ran the marina. So that was my first job. And I remember day one, and I'm not a very handy person at all, but day one was given a drill and had to undo a bunch of the boards on the dock, and there was a lot of fish that got kind of built up that wasn't smelling too good for the customers. So that was the first job to clean that out. So that was kind of interesting, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, pretty fun boss there, and we often, we'd get there in the morning and work with another guy there on kind of more the maintenance side, and he'd be, having coffee with us, and he said, "You guys want to work today?" And we're like, "Well, I mean, yeah, sure." He's like, "Well, why don't we just go sailing?" And we're like, "That works too."
Nice.
So it was a good first job.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, name your favorite spot in BC.
Oof, that's a good question. I'd probably say, just for more sentimental reasons, because where I grew up initially, but Shawnigan Lake's where I grew up. My parents both worked at the school there. So I have a lot of good memories there. I haven't been really that recently, but we used to have like a small little place there, and it was just an amazing kind of place to grow up. And again, both my parents worked at that school. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen that school. It's pretty crazy in terms of the campus. So getting to grow up there as a kid and kind of run around and whatnot was a lot of fun. So I'd have to say Shawnigan Lake.
Yeah, I've spent quite a few fun days on the lake, just boating and water skiing and on Shawnigan. It's for a place that is so close to Victoria. It's just you feel like you're in another world there. It's gorgeous.
Absolutely.
We've got time probably for one or two more questions. Let me see. Where's if once all this stuff is over and we're able to safely travel and potentially get out of the country, what's the first vacation you guys have planned or you have planned for yourself?
Great question. I should probably say Scotland now, but I've never been there. But we were supposed to go. My partner and I were supposed to go to Costa Rica on March 17th, and had to pull the plug on March 16th. Spent a lot of time on hold that weekend. It was, I think, 24 hours on hold.
Wow.
Tried to cancel my flight. Couldn't cancel the flight. Air Canada systems were down, unfortunately, online. A lot of traffic, I would imagine. So I had to end up going to the airport to cancel it in person, and everyone else in Vancouver had to do the same thing. So it was about a 2-hour line, which is not exactly where you wanted to be on March 16th, but we were supposed to go to Costa Rica. So that's probably going to be right back on top of the list next time.
Yeah, I've been once a number of years ago, and I just I instantly loved that.
Yeah,
it's sort of diverse for such a small country. You can drive around it so easily, but you've got a little bit of everything there. So I'm sure.
Where did you spend time there?
We were staying in Tamarindo. It was lucky enough to be a work trip that I won years ago, but throughout we were there for 10 days, and throughout that trip we kind of just did little day trips up into the mountains and into the jungles, and kind of toured all over the place. And I've always said I wanted to go back. My wife hasn't been yet, so it's definitely a place we'll get to for sure again.
Nice. We were supposed to go there as well, so had it right back to the top.
Yeah, nice. Well, Boo and I have to jump off here because we've got another call right at the bottom of the hour. But I really appreciated you jumping on the show here with us today, Rab, and looking forward to working with you guys more closely.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, guys. Big fan, and love what you're doing. So appreciate the time.
Awesome. All right.
Talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for checking this out today. If you're watching via YouTube right now, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Also click the bell for notifications. That way you will find out when we are dropping a new video or when we're going live. Also, there's darylandboo.com. If you head over to that, leave your name and email address, we will drop a weekly technical newsletter in your inbox every Monday. Also, this is available via podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify. Head over to one of those, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to listen to us in the car on your commute or during a walk or a run. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.